said no.
No one wants to be taxed, Michelle. I don't want to be taxed. You don't want to be taxed. That's normal. One expected that as an option. It may be feasible. It may not be. But look, there are three options. You mentioned two: the reprioritization of budgets, taxing, including increasing the deficit. 14.6%. That's what we said in the budget in October. And we said our debt to GDP is at, we may reach debt to GDP if we not do anything by 23-24 financial year. Now, all of these three options are tough options because we've been cutting budgets from 2012. So yeah, it's not going to be an easy option, but it's there. The other option that we have not been talking about is looking at cash that we may have, because this on its own is a financing mechanism that is once off. It may not have carried through cost like any other, where every year you have to make 20 billion available. So what we're looking at as an option is also to say we will look at the cash money. If we've got money and we're able to collect more and we're able to raise more, or through savings here and there, through some exchange rates fluctuations, etc., then yes, we'll definitely pay. So commitment is there from government. We'll pay. We'll do anything at our disposal to ensure that we pay for these vaccines.
DG, is it worrying that we are still at this stage of the pandemic trying to figure out how we are going to pay for our vaccines? Should that not already be a question that is asked and answered?
No. Look, I mean, the sanctity of our budget process we have to maintain, by the way, so that we don't give the market, confuse the market in the way that we are priced in the market. So this is a budgeting process that can only be confirmed and finalized in February. No problem. Mm-hmm. But Michelle, if Pfizer or AstraZeneca or any of the manufacturers tomorrow or today say, here are 20 million doses, please pay me, we are going to pay them. We are going to pay them immediately. We'll use all avenues available in law. One of them is Section 16 of the Public Finance Management Act, whereby we can use emergency funding, and this falls in that category, for us to make sure that we pay. But remember, in paying, we have to do two things after paying. I have to inform the Auditor General. Within 14 days, the law says that. I also have to inform the Parliament within 14 days, the law says that. Further, the law says within the next appropriation, we will have to include that in the framework and explain how we are going to deal with that financing. That's where these options come in, and that's where in the Minister of Finance speech in February, if we have to pay any cent between February, that's where we are going to correct the framework and indicate where exactly this 20 billion or more is going to come from. So it's not an issue about paying. We will pay immediately. We will not be delaying in any way. We'll make sure that we actually make sure that South Africans are protected.
Yeah. DG, I want to go back to the issue of possibly raising taxes to try and pay for our vaccine rollout plan. What would that look like to the ordinary South African?
Look, there are many variations of taxes that we look at normally. We look at excise duties, we look at customs, we look at this pay-as-you-earn, corporate income tax, VAT, etc. You look at today's newspaper, for instance, Professor Dennis Davis says we must have a solidarity tax for vaccine. There are many options available. So I don't think we should burden ourselves much with that thinking and saying, we are going to just be reckless. There could be a combination of all that I'm saying. We may not tax everyone the full 20 billion. We may not even touch any of the taxes. We may even think if it's cheaper to go the route of raising our deficit. If there's any new money that comes through as a result of collections, we may think about that, including if need be to close some programs just to ensure that we pay for them or reprioritize them for later. So all options are available. The team is working flat out now in preparing for the budget that's coming on the 3rd Wednesday of February. So I think it's important to make sure that we are not going to be reckless in taxing South Africans when they shouldn't be taxed, but also we have to be actually realistic about the realities of our situation and what we need to do. So yeah, I think let's wait for that decision. But however, commitment is that the vaccines will be paid as soon as money is needed immediately. Yeah. Won't delay by any.
Yeah. DG, I want to talk to you while we have you on the line about economic recovery of our country amid COVID-19 and amid our ongoing level 3 lockdown. We've just had discussions with businesses who are still not getting payouts from insurance companies. Many reports and research reports telling us that our economy is not going to recover from the COVID-19 pandemic anytime soon. You know, as we build up to February, what are the emergency and crisis plans that we are able to put in place as Treasury to try and speed up that recovery process?
Look, the recovery process is going to be tough. It's not going to be easy at all. It's not going to be dependent on the state only. It's going to also be dependent on how well and how direct does business get involved. I know the Economic Cluster of Ministers is meeting next week again to look at plans that you are putting in place, to look at options that are there that clearly will bring us back to recovery. It's not going to be easy, Michelle. It's businesses are closing down. We are aware of that. But however, it's a pain that I think we are all feeling at this point in time because of this pandemic. There's no other option. You can go and raise loans, you can give grants, but if people are not there to purchase and this purchasing power is not there, the recovery is going. If we cannot produce to a point where we export, it's going to be difficult. The tourism sector is affected in any way. So all of the things that we thought we would do are affected. You'll remember in the last economic recovery plan, the pillar of it was economic activity around tourism, and it was also around agriculture. Now, even on that, we are affected.
Yeah.
So I think it's not going to be easy. It's not a government-only thing. It's businesses making sure that they give concessions where possible to their own customers. It's also up to us to make sure that we are able to support those businesses that clearly are strategic for the South African economy. And I think we have to do all of that. And come budget, hopefully we'll obviously announce some of the key measures that are critical to actually boost the economy moving forward.
And DG, as we bring our discussion full circle, the issue of vaccines again is so key, not only in saving lives, but in having that successful recovery and speeding up that recovery that you've just talked about. The sooner we have the vaccines, the sooner we can achieve herd immunity and try and get back to some semblance of normality.
Yes, the sooner we get it, the better. I know the health department is in discussion with some suppliers. We have given the necessary deviation approvals for them to deviate from normal procurement process. We did not delay. So we are confident that it's a matter of maybe shipment. We can confirm that with the Department of Health, and then we'll be more than ready to pay. When these vaccines are here and with us. But that also calls for us as a country to start developing our own and have mechanisms in future to prepare for future pandemics. Because clearly we cannot be waiting for some supplier out there in Europe or in the United States or in Americas to actually supply in Asia. We have to begin to actually boost ourselves and create industry that will make it easy for us to be self-sustainable moving forward. But however, it's important that we have given the approvals as Treasury. It's a matter of the shipments coming through and the payments be made.
Dondo Mogajane is the Director General in the Department of Treasury. Thanks very much, sir, for your time this morning.